How was today, Fee?
Today was really fun, actually. I'm a bit tired though, so I keep on forgetting where I put everything. But I had a really good, fun time. And do you know what the best bit was? Not only was it the most accessible place that we've been like in a while, but they also had like little labels like not all disabilities are visible. So it was quite nice because it was deliberately set up for disabled people. It's like they planned it for cripples as opposed to, I suppose I have to legally make it okay for cripples. And I think it makes a big difference. And there were lots of planes. And I got to look at the Vulcan bomber, so I'm okay.
And where are we going now?
We're going to get some makan, as Grandma would say. We're going to go to Shimla restaurant in Newport, where I used to go to school. So I'll show Nick Adam's grandma. I'll show you where I used to go to school. The old boys' school till sixth form. And then home and some sleep, because I might be a little bit tired.
So after gallivanting around and having an awful lot of fun, Nick and I decided to meet up with the old man and Lynda as we were near Cosford. So we decided to meet up at the Air Museum. We've not been able to do any of the air shows this year, which is a bit of a sad one because it's kind of a family tradition with Dad and I. So instead we decided we could meet up at the museum. We were going to geek out on the interactive display, but sadly because of COVID they haven't been able to leave the display out. However, all of the other displays are fantastic. The way that they've set up the bombers, you can see underneath, you can see a lot of the mechanics, the way they've cut through some of the engines, and it's fantastic, I have to say. It's one of my favourite museums. A lot of that reason being because they've got all three of the V-bombers, which I think are beautiful, beautiful planes. Nick's definitely in favour of the Victor, whereas I am a Vulcan girl myself. We do seem to have consistent arguments about it, but I don't think either of us can be particularly swayed. The displays that you can get to see are absolutely amazing, especially in this room, because you get a lot of the information from both sides, and some of the models give you a better idea of the whole thing. One of the things I did find rather interesting and quirky, bizarre and fascinating was some of the trinkets that the pilots were flying around with as their lucky charms. And I totally get that. I'm a massively sentimental and superstitious person, but there was one of the charms that definitely looked a bit different. It was very much of its time, I suppose. But yeah, so I was fascinated with how weird it looked, but also what a weirdly prude thing it was, as it was covering up its nipples, which I just found hilarious. But there you go. Maybe it's just because I'm a child.
I was just looking at the weird charms that go with some of these things. That baby charm is creepy as fuck. Like, just a naked baby with a top hat. Like, the sentimentality behind that is really adorable, but I mean, like, doesn't every part of you just not trust that? Look at it. I mean, also, look how prude the baby is. It's all ban the nipples, apparently. No nips here, but you can just have everything else hanging out. But it's the top hat. I think the top hat makes it look really incongruous.
It does look a bit weird.
Yeah, and it kind of got
So we decided to load up on tea and cake in the cafe before we wandered around and had a look at the entire museum. It's a very large museum. You could probably spend a good day looking around and reading all of the displays and having a good look at everything. One of the bonuses, I think, is the way that they've put some of the displays with the bombers. They've managed to make some of them look agile, even though they're obviously static displays, as well as being able to look underneath all the bombers and seeing where the bomb bays were and all of the interesting mechanics that go with it. It makes you realise how tenuous it all was, because it was all fly-by-wire and things at that point. So you can see all the electric wires going out and you're like, Jesus. I couldn't even cope with switching on the oven sometimes, and these poor bastards have got all these things to deal with.
I don't know why, maybe it just reminds me of like childhood, but I love the smell of old planes. Yeah, like hot oil and old plane smell.
There is just something about that smell that just reminds me of childhood. My dad, air shows and air museums, being a geek. We used to have daddy-daughter days, and I have to say they were fantastic because we got to bond and I got to pick where to go. There's so many good displays in here. I could spend an entire day just going through and having a look at everything. But it was nice to also spend a bit of time having a chat with Lynda and seeing Dad as well. It's been a while. We got to bond over me and my dad enjoying the Vulcan, with Nick debating that Victors are better. I suppose strategically and in many ways the Victory is a better plane. However, it's not the most beautiful plane. That's the Vulcan. As you can see, this is the undercarriage of the Vulcan. It's a beautiful plane, massive, and I love the way that it's designed to be virtually undetectable in the horizon until you see it bank, and then you see these massive delta wings, the silhouette, and think, oh bloody hell, they mean business. So yeah, I think it's obviously the best one, but let me know if you think so. Make sure to pop into Cosford if you do end up being in the Staffordshire area. It's well worth a visit if you're into history or planes at all in the slightest. To be honest with you, I think it'd be interesting even if you weren't, just because of the way that they've set up the displays. Not only that, but they do amazing cakes. I swear places like this always do, and they serve Yorkshire tea. It's quite funny actually, because at this point Nick wanted to get some good footage of me going down in the lift. Unfortunately for him, the lift was far too efficient for his own good. I swear that lift was so fast I almost felt G-force. We managed to have a good old wander around, and we even managed to look at some of the stand-up displays too, which was quite good. And I got to spend some quality time with my old man and Lynda, and I definitely can't complain at that, because it was nice to see them, spend a bit of time, as well as talking shop, so to speak, of all our passions. Ended up being quite a nice day at the end of it. It was kind of miserable to begin with. I wanted to have a look in the plane, but it was a bit difficult to get in there, so Nick encouraged me not to, mainly because I was absolutely shattered, and it would just be difficult to get me in and out for no particular reason. But thank you for joining us. Sorry it's a bit of a mishmash voiceover. I'm trying my best, but I'm not very good at this, as you can probably tell. Please do join in though. Let me know what you think of my voiceover, as much as which V bomber is the best. Obviously the Vulcan. You know it's the Vulcan. Tell Nick he's wrong.